Pastor Mark, Jen, Bruce, and Sherry. Rather than typing a long, arduous, detailed kind of catch up of the things that I've worked on the past couple weeks, I thought I would take some time just to send you a quick video of that. In lieu of the fact that we're meeting on Wednesday, I wanted to put a few things before you to think about and pray about as we gather together and convene this week. So I'm happy to say that successfully Greenville County accepted our entire application last Wednesday on our second try. And in support of that, Piedmont Natural Gas had provided the necessary documentation we needed. That was that single one-page, 3-sentence letter from Piedmont Duke is all we needed from the first go-around. We didn't know that when we went in a week ago on Friday. But thankfully, we went in this past Wednesday. I had that. We got that cleared. So that was exceptional. And our permit was only $50. Now, what's fascinating about that, and I looked at the cost for permits. They have thousands of pages of costs. The original permit to build the entryway was going to be between $1,500 and $1,800. We built that in as an allowance, knowing that the demo would be accepted as part of that. Now that we've kind of temporarily moved away from building the entryway, which we can talk about on the backside of Wednesday, the demo permit itself was only $50. Now that's a blessing because there's some savings there that we'll talk about. The good news is when we designed the demo permit, we made sure that we included every square foot of area that was disturbed in the development of the courtyard. You see, and I want you to carefully hear this, that was supposed to be included in the building permit that G.C. Brad was unable to secure for us. So because of that, there was a little bit of looming concern about some of that development in the sheer fact that we didn't have a building permit. So the way we approached the building permit was to go after the deconstruction permit, which allows us to tear down the carport and includes every ounce of area that we have currently disturbed in the courtyard area. So now all our fears and apprehensions can be set aside. Now we are at the max capacity, was a 10,000 square foot demo permit, and we are at already over 9,000 square feet in that. So there's nothing we can do beyond that to this point. But thankfully, all that stuff that has been done and the tearing down of the carport in that particular area will now be included in this. The drawings that we used in December were the drawings that were submitted ahead of time because they were already on file with the county, and that included the courtyard area. So we'll look at these on Wednesday night, but I just want to make note that we are unable at this point in time to do that last planter box because we had to wrap away from it with the drawings from December to be able to get this demo permit also. The good news is we got the permit. We're going to move forward. I believe we've scheduled the demolition 2 weeks from this past Saturday, and we're going to, and with your help, I'm going to coordinate all of this, working with GC Brad to get this set up so that we demo that in a very succinct, proper order and manner and have that done so he can get back in there and continue his work. And then we can also have the turf installers, who, by the way, they're going to be installing either this week or next week. I haven't heard back from them, but they promised me that it would be done by or before the end of the month. I gave them a drop-dead date of 3.5 weeks last week. But I'm excited to get the demo going and get that removed and then get back up there and grading and get some sidewalk poured and deal with some of that. That'll really show the church as we lead up to this big announcement, which is the next thing I want to talk to you about. We have to talk about what that looks like, the relaunching of the campaign. I've got some ideas that I'm going to share, some creative ideas. I don't want to deviate a whole lot from what we did last year. It's kind of going to be a revamping of that, and maybe a phase 2 or a stage 2 kind of launch, really just to draw in those who are new to the church or who didn't initially commit the first time around. And we can talk about that Wednesday. Certainly want everybody involved in that process. I wanted to share that with you. I'm still making the name change on a few organizations. I'll update everybody on that. As well, when we were down at Greenville County, we made sure we talked to them specifically about handicap parking. So I have some specific county requirements that are related to handicap parking. I'm going to make sure that I go over these with GC Brad so that those particular spots that we have set aside for are meticulously designed so they follow county code. As well as mailbox, I picked up a wonderful document, and I can't wait to give this to Bruce because I know he's anxious to get going on that. Exactly the setback and the height and all that in regards to the installation of our new mailbox. Now, I know we talked to the regional mail supervisor. He kind of showed us where it would be best. We talked through that. But I now have a supportive county document to go alongside of that. And the last thing we looked into, just to kind of reaffirm ourselves, was the county's requirements for parking spaces. So eventually, when we get that upper courtyard done, we will then pivot over to, basically redo the parking lot. And I need to make sure that the parking lot design we have, which in all intents and purposes it is designed with the minimum number of handicap spots and overall spots that are required per the size of sanctuary in the building we have. And their requirements are basically for every seat you have in the building, you have to have one specific spot based on your seating capacity, the largest capacity. So we ran some figures and made sure we got that together, but I'll be presenting this to Brad. We're not at all changing anything about the parking lot other than some of those islands might have to be reconfigured. We'll have to talk about what that looks like, getting permit for that as we go forward. But I wanted to just put this in front of you. I'm still working on name changes with a variety of organizations. I've got the financials pretty much ready to go for Wednesday night. And then I just wanted to share some of this with you. We're going to talk a little bit about this, where we are with going into stage 2, the upper courtyard design, and then moving the church, thinking along those lines. We still have some finish work that has to be done in the lower courtyard, and I think we all know that finish work, what it is, and it is in process, and just some of those things. So look forward to seeing y'all Wednesday night. Certainly you can email me with questions or quandaries. We can talk through that. But I wanted to take a minute today just to bring you a brief update. Let me say thank you, God bless you, and have a great Monday.